Hi Sagittarius, and welcome to your very quick tarot reading. This reading is inspired by the recent full moon in Sagittarius, and we're going to be having a look at what the full moon in Sagittarius is leaving for you. So basically, full moons are, generally speaking, a wonderful time to release things, a wonderful time to process things, and also a wonderful time to examine the clarity, the information, and the experiences that are in front of you or that have recently happened. With your sign being in the moon at the time of this full moon, you bring a energetic shift, a powerful, fiery desire to create. And so while the full moon is pulling us to release, your sign is saying, okay, but do it quickly because there are better things coming. So let's see how this is impacting you. What is the full moon in Sagittarius leaving for Sagittarius spirit? We have the Lovers card reversed. We also have the Five of Cups. What is the full moon in Sagittarius leaving Sagittarius spirit? What is the full moon in Sagittarius leaving Sagittarius? Okay, let me just straighten all of this up. And I'm using the Tarot of Curious Creatures deck by Chris Ann. Is that pretty good? Look, it's not perfect, but it's kind of good. It's about as good as I can get it, I reckon. Okay, so Sagittarius, with the Five of Cups in the middle, the full moon is giving you big feelings. So what's happening now, at the time that I'm filming this, it's the 12th of June here in Australia. So the full moon is starting to wane and it's bringing us into the next cycle, which is well and truly encouraging you to make some changes depending on how you feel. Now, the thing about feelings, I don't think I need to tell you, a lot of fire signs are able to know this without even putting it into words. But feelings can change. Feelings can change quickly. So the whole point of the next 7 days is for you to let your feelings out, give them a chance to experience, to be felt, so that you can get over it quickly. It seems that in the next 7 days, you're processing feelings of disappointment, feelings of loss, and even feelings of frustration, grief. The Five of Cups can indicate that these feelings are quite heavy, so don't let them hold you back. Don't let them trap you like this net. Make sure that you're letting your feelings be felt so that you can process them in the moment and continue to feel new emotions. I have a feeling that your feelings are going to be quite unstable in the next 7 days. Heads up, Sagittarius. 1 minute you might be feeling down. Next minute you're ready to go out, hit the town and dance and feel good. And so this unpredictable energy when it comes to your emotions does seem to be creating a bit of a misunderstanding between you and the people around you. Some people are just not gelling well with you, Sag. Whether you have Sagittarius sun, moon, rising, Venus, or any other placements, the Sagittarius energy in your chart is making people see you one way, and it's not allowing them to truly give you the time to express what's going on underneath the surface. You're being heavily judged off of your actions, off of your first impression, and off of a temporary emotion. And so it's really important that you let your feelings out and then you connect with the residual feeling. After you've purged, what do you feel? What is left? Are you actually upset? Or are you just a little bit disappointed in the fact that somebody didn't explain something to you before they acted? What is that residual feeling? Often the primary emotion is so strong, it masks the real issue. So in the next 7 days, allow your feelings to be released and then sit with what is left. What are the thoughts? What are the residual emotions? What are the more stable emotions telling you? Now, coming back to the people around you, I just want to say there's some air energy over here that is being very judgmental. Now, this air energy could be Libra, And it makes sense because Libra likes to project. So maybe you have a Libra around you who's also going through a hard time, and they're expecting you to be there for them. And then you're coming to them with your big emotions and they're going, I don't have time for this. I don't have capacity for this. You know, I'm going through it as well. I came here because you said you could help me and now I'm helping you. So there's a little bit of resentment here coming from someone who expected you to help them, and now they're having to almost flip the roles and help you. This is a misunderstanding, and it's happening because this person is so focused on themselves that they can't empathize with you. And it's not making you feel better. It's making you feel worse. And it's really enhancing these low feelings that you're experiencing. So just be mindful of that. Maybe this isn't the best person to dump on, and really consider other people who can actually help you go through this without making it about themselves. I don't think this is a bad person, but this experience is very damaging for your relationship with them. And with the Queen of Swords being here, Libra is the strongest sign. But ultimately, it comes down to the fact that this person is so focused on what they're going through that they can't fully connect with you. They can't empathize with what you're going through, and they just can't support you at a time when you really need support. And that's very similar to how you're feeling as well. You can only really focus on yourself, and you're having to keep your head focused on yourself. Very subjective thinking here. And it's not because you're trying to be selfish. This usually happens due to self-preservation. We don't have a lot to give. We don't have a lot to, share with the world. So we need to keep that for ourselves. And we need to give ourselves space and time to sift through that. And we also need to communicate that to the people around us, because otherwise people get hurt, and we can prevent that by saying, hey, I'm not having the best time right now. I'm not in any position to give you life advice. I need life advice myself. And that's where the Lovers card comes into play, Sag. I do think that the full moon is leaving you with a lot of reflective thoughts, maybe more questions than answers. This Lovers card reversed is about self. It's about having a really reflective, open conversation with yourself, where maybe you're getting answers, but maybe you're just processing things. And so sometimes we can do this verbally. We can just sort of have a yarn to ourselves in the shower. Other times we need to write it down. We need to journal and get our thoughts onto a piece of paper in order to understand where our head is at. And sometimes, if we have the right people around us, we can have a monologue discussion with them where we're literally word dumping our brain, and we're having them guide us through some of the key thoughts, some of the key issues, or even some of the key reflections that we're feeling and experiencing. Now, those kinds of conversations don't work with everybody because people want to speak themselves as well. So sometimes the best way to do that is through a professional, where they're getting paid to listen and to support, and they're not expecting to have to talk back either. They're not expecting, and in fact it would be unprofessional for them to share their own story, their own experiences. And so this Lovers card is the full moon in Sagittarius, leaving you with a big question about your life, about your identity, and about how you show up for yourself, or how you have not been showing up for yourself lately. And then, if you are even able to continue that discussion, the full moon in Sagittarius is also saying, now how is all of this impacting your other relationships? How is your disconnect from self impacting the relationships that you have with others? Are your expectations of others a reflection of your expectations of yourself? What can we do to work on that relationship with self in order to create healthier relationships with others? So big questions. And like I said, sometimes there's no answers. It's just questions, and it leaves us with a lot of thoughts. It leaves us with a lot of reflection. which is why it can be helpful to write it down so that we're not just stuck in a whirlwind of confusion here. Ultimately, these thoughts are helping you understand your feelings, which are helping you understand your way out. You don't want to feel trapped by these thoughts, and you definitely don't want to feel like you're somebody who's constantly messing up. For some reason, that's the energy that I'm getting, Sagittarius. I think that prior to this full moon, you guys may have felt like you were just constantly messing up, either making mistakes with other people, making mistakes in your own life, or just never really getting things right. Please stop being so hard on yourself. It is important to be accountable. It is important to learn the lessons that we go through in life so that we break the chains of mistakes and ultimately just become a wiser, more aware person for ourselves and for others around us. But we also have to contend with the fact that we are human, and we learn and we learn and we learn. We aren't born with wisdom. We aren't born with knowledge. We learn through experiences. We learn through mistakes. And we are all doing the best that we can with the information that we have. So with the Eight of Swords reversed, the full moon in Sagittarius is ultimately trying to help you free yourself from feeling like someone that's always messing up, feeling like in some cases the victim of bad circumstances, so that instead of feeling like your hands are tied, you can feel like the power to move forward is in your hands. You can feel like you have options, you have choices, and those choices are about you deciding how to move forward, deciding what to do next, deciding what your next adventure is going to be, and also deciding how your feelings are trying to show you what the solutions are. Because even if they're temporary feelings, they are coming from your heart, and your heart is trying to guide you. So, speaking of the heart, the Knight of Cups, the last thing the full moon in Sagittarius is leaving for you is the ability to recognize how your feelings have changed. And yes, this process may have been started with some negative feelings, some heavy feelings, some disappointing feelings, some grief, some loss. But ultimately, your feelings have changed. And what does this mean for the people around you? I feel like some of you could be holding a grudge, which is quite rare for Sag. You either get angry and get over it, or you just get angry and forget about it. So in the next 7 days, with the Knight of Cups reversed, someone is not in your good graces anymore. Someone can't be forgiven for what they've done, and you can't forget the way that you felt when they treated you that way. So you're going to be realizing that feelings have changed, and it can't be changed back. And you're going to have to navigate what that means. Does that mean you moving forward without this person? Does that mean you sending a message about how you feel to help purge the residual feelings? Or does that mean you focusing on other people, other things, and letting this person naturally slip into the past? Ultimately, your feelings have changed, and that changes the way that you treat people and the way that you let people treat you. You're not able to put on the rose-colored glasses anymore. You are having a hard time forgetting what was done and the way that it made you feel. So that is what I'm seeing for you, Sag. That is what the full moon in Sagittarius is leaving your beautiful sign. Give yourself the space and time to feel. Be careful about who you open up to. You deserve to have your feelings validated. Use your feelings as a guide to navigate through and to find your way out. You always have options, and it's important. Sorry, Sag. As I was saying, you always have options, and it's important that you sift through your feelings, your thoughts, so that you can see what your options are and what you want to do based on how your heart has learned from this experience. So thank you for letting me read for you, Sagittarius. You may have messages in your other signs, but until then, look after your beautiful self. I wish you peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, health, wealth, success, and joy on your journey ahead. Bye.